What is going on, guys? For this video I wanted to show you guys the new daily driver that I've had for about, I don't know, maybe a year or so, and kind of show you guys around it because I think you'll all be very interested in it. And so what we have here is a 2001 Dodge Dakota RT. So these things are getting pretty rare now. A lot of them have rusted out or been wrecked at this point. I believe Chrysler only made 12,000 of them originally, and only 4,000 of them were regular cabs. Most of them were extended cabs. So I have the regular cab version. Of course, they were all short beds. Figured I would go around this thing and show it to you guys real quick. And what I can tell you for sure is that this is probably the worst example of a Dodge Dakota RT that you guys will ever see. And let's take a look at Exhibit A. Oh, look at that. It is still a second generation Dodge Dakota after all, which means that the rocker panels and the bed and everything completely rot out on these. So you know, we've got some drain holes in the bed. Oh, there's a big one over there in the corner. But real quick, we'll go over what the Dodge Dakota RT was. So the thing about the Dodge Dakota RT was that there was nothing particularly unique about it as far as what it came with, because a lot of the parts that make it special were parts that Chrysler already had. For example, the 5.9 liter, it's the same 5.9 liter that came in the Rams. You know, the transmission was the 46 RE, which same transmission that came in the Rams as well, the 9.25 rear end. But it was the fact that it had this combination of them all in a lightweight two-wheel drive lowered truck form that made it unique. One thing this truck did have that made it unique was the wheels. They are 17 by I think 9 inch. Now if you have one of these trucks, you probably are aware that the factory tire size 255/55/17 is not available, or actually I think Bridgestone just released a tire that is that size, but it's just like an SUV touring tire. It's not a performance tire of any kind. So your only options are to go bigger or smaller. There is no in between. So I've got two 35/60/17s on this truck because it had two 75/55s, or a little bit taller and wider, but they were horrible in the snow. And I drive this thing in the winter. It is my daily after all. So I got some cheap Fortune tires on here. They were the cheapest thing I could get, and they work, and that's all that I really care about on here. They, like I said, 235, so they are narrower, but it doesn't really matter on this truck for me. I just wanted some tires that wouldn't rub and that would kind of fit correctly and wouldn't throw the speedometer off. So yeah, like I said, the other than the wheels and the 392 rear end gear ratio, a lot of the other parts on these trucks were, you know, things that were already available, but you had to either buy a larger, heavier version of this truck, or you had to get a Ram to get them. This Dakota RT was the only one to get them in this option. The other thing it does have that is kind of unique to it is it has lowered suspension, and this truck does have front and rear sway bars. I don't know if the sway bars were changed size-wise for these or not, but that's pretty much what it is. That's what made the Dakota RT special, was just the fact that you got the, you know, the smallest and lightest version of a Dodge Dakota with the biggest and most powerful engine that, you know, that was available for them, with, you know, the 392 rear gears and everything. And these trucks also had a sport exhaust that added like 5 horsepower over what the standard 5.9 liter Rams would have made, but it's not much. And of course, any of these trucks that are still around now no longer have that exhaust if they're from this part of the country. So yeah, let's give you guys a little look around it. As you can see, there's more rust going on here. This truck was repainted. These stripes are painted on here. The original owner did that probably when the truck was pretty new still. The whole thing has been resprayed. Actually did a pretty good job. The paint has held up fairly well. This thing looks halfway decent from, you know, 50 feet away. We still have all of the 17-inch wheels. I even still have the spare for it. So I have all 5 of the 17s. All the center caps are still on here. You know, the rocker rust, which I showed you guys before. The original owner removed all of the badges from the truck probably when he painted it. He probably just liked how it looked better without it. He also put this fiberglass roll pan on back here, which has seen better days. It's pretty rough. I added this hitch back here because I actually have been hauling my tow dolly around with this truck. I actually brought this car down from my parents' place to Columbus with this truck and that dolly towed on that hitch. So it actually tows pretty good. You can't put a lot of tongue weight on, but it can pull the same amount as any other Dodge Dakota could with a V8. Stopped good, handled fine, even with a short wheelbase. This thing did perfectly fine. That tow dolly is the perfect match for this thing for towing stuff, and my goal is to one day be able to use the RT to pull that truck around behind it. So we'll get there eventually. But yeah, on the exterior, other than the paint, there's really not a whole lot to look at other than rust and, you know, peeling clear coat. The windows are tinted on it. I put this toolbox on here because regular cab has like no storage space. So, you know, got, you know, straps and stuff for the tow dolly and some other emergency things that it might need, a floor jack and some other random stuff. But yeah, not a whole lot to look at on the exterior. Now, inside and under the hood is where things get a little bit interesting. Let's come in here real quick. So if you get in here, you'll notice that there are two shifters. There's an automatic shifter up here, but then there's a stick shift down here. So I did a full 5-speed conversion on this truck. I did it last summer. The video will be coming out shortly after this one, hopefully. But yeah, I did a 5-speed conversion on it. Chrysler never made a Dodge Dakota RT with a 5-speed manual in it. There's been rumors floating around, you know, the internet forums for the last 2 decades that there was some Chrysler engineer that had one custom made for him, but it's never surfaced. So I'm just going to say that it never happened. It never existed. You definitely couldn't order one from a dealership with a 5-speed manual. So that makes this thing way, way better to drive. The 46 RE that was in this thing wasn't the original one, which I found out when I pulled it. It had a stamp date on it from 2007, had a tag on it. So it was a remanufactured or rebuilt transmission already. That poor thing was wore out. Everybody kind of is aware of Dodges and their notorious transmission problems. It did okay. It didn't really slip, but if you like tried to floor it and tried to exercise what power is left in this tired old 5.9 liter, the transmission would just downshift all the way into first gear no matter what speed you were doing, and then you would just bounce off rev limiter. The thing was absolutely confused. It was not happy. And then in the cold, oh, that thing was even more not happy, and it leaked everywhere, and it was time for it to go. I would much rather have a 5-speed in one of these things anyway. It makes this thing way, way more fun to drive, and I don't have to worry about the transmission overheating or coming apart when I'm towing something behind this. So yep, 5-speed conversion video will be coming on that later. This truck, do I have the keys on me? Yes, I do. This truck has currently over 307,000 miles. I'll bring the odometer up for you guys real quick. Turn the blower motor off. 307,431. I know it for sure. It's the original engine. I don't think it's ever been out for a rebuild or anything like that. It looks like it's just been in there living its life for over 307,000 miles. When I got this truck last, I think it was March, it had 289,000 miles on it. So I put almost 20,000 miles on it in a year. I drive this thing a lot, and I managed to put all those miles on it even with it being down for the 5-speed conversion and a few other repairs I had to do. This thing has done really, really well for me. I really enjoy driving this truck. I would love to know what these things were like when they were brand new, but like I said, this thing, it's fun to drive. It's very practical, surprisingly. It even didn't do that bad in the snow. I've got a pair of winter tires I threw on the back of it. It did all right. It is the perfect daily driver for me. Heat, AC work, cruise control. It's got a radio in it. I mean, I couldn't really ask for more for a beater truck to drive around. And I use it like a beater truck. Just the other day, I took a bunch of scrap tires and scrap metal and trash out with it. Like I said, I tow with it all the time. I've got the toolbox back there for all the spare stuff. But this is a facelifted interior, so this has the newer style dash in it, the newer style gauge cluster. This thing's mad because there's no auto in it, so now it just cycles through the gear indicators here. But inside of this, there really wasn't anything done special to the Dakota RTs on the interior. It's just a standard Dodge Dakota on the inside. Now this one did have the upgraded radio. You can see that it's got the infinity speakers, it's power everything. This truck has the larger mirrors that are heated and powered. Most of the Dakota RTs had these smaller mirrors with the manual adjustment and no heater. So that's kind of cool. This truck was optioned up a little bit. The only RT badging these trucks came with was just the decals on the exterior. There's nothing on the steering wheel for an emblem. There's nothing on the dash. There's nothing anywhere. Not a whole lot going on in here. Everything's wore out. There's a dent in the armrest here from me driving it. The steering wheel has melted, so it's got this cheap AutoZone steering wheel cover on it. Not a whole lot going on in here. This center console piece had to be changed for the 5-speed swap. That's why the color doesn't match. Otherwise, it would be all the same colors. Got the huge windshield crack that wraps all the way around. But yeah, not much going on there. Let's go under the hood and take a look there as well. So this, of course, is what these trucks are most known for, the 5.9 liter Magnum. Not super powerful by today's standards, but back in, 2001, this was one of the fastest pickup trucks you could get your hands on out of the box, pretty much. Like I said, the Dakota RT, technically it wasn't the only Dakota that came with the 5.9 liter. There were some quad cabs, like for 1 or 2 model years where people could option them in, but those things are extremely hard to find. But other than that, the Dakota RT was the only one to get the 5.9 liter V8, all 250 horsepower or whatever they made it to crank. This thing's probably far from that now. This thing is pretty tired. Burns about a quart of oil every 1,000 miles. Still runs good, still got plenty of pep, tows everything, drives good. I get like 16, 17 miles a gallon on the highway. City mileage we don't talk about. I don't even have an estimate on that. It's bad. But on the highway, cruising 16, 17 on a good day, depending on how fast you're going and if you got the wind behind you or in front of you. Not really a whole lot going on here. When we first got this truck, there was like a K&N intake on here that I took out. I got a factory air box put back on here. I've had to change out the alternator. I had to put a water pump on this when my brother got it. There's some new hoses up here, basic maintenance stuff, but nothing crazy. I did timing chains on this, put a 3.9 liter tensioner on it, timing cover gaskets because it was leaking from those. I did the belly pan gasket on the intake, all the intake gaskets. So I've gone and re-gasketed pretty much everything. A lot of basic maintenance stuff. This thing runs pretty good. A little shaky. Part of that's probably the worn out engine mounts. The rest of it is that I'm sure the compression on these cylinders isn't anywhere close to even anymore. 300-some thousand miles, I'm not gonna complain too much. It doesn't leak anything. The oil consumption is perfectly manageable. It doesn't bother me. It gets the job done, and I'm just gonna continue to rack miles up on this thing. So like I said, not a whole lot to really look at here, but it is a real Dakota 5.9 RT. I've wanted one of these for a long time. Would have been cool to get one that was in a little bit better shape than, this one, but it's kind of nice to have one that's this beat up too, because I don't have to worry about treating it like a truck and actually using it and doing stuff with it. I don't really have to feel bad at all. So, yeah, that is the truck. We'll do one last walk around on it here for you. Maybe we'll crawl underneath of it. Let me show you guys. Oh, actually, let's go to the other side here. Come to this side. This truck does have a homemade exhaust on it, because when I did the transmission swap, everything fell apart. So, well, there's the Y pipe. I had to replace the catalytic converters with something we won't talk about. And then there's a Borla muffler on here that I got from a friend of mine. And then I just cobbled together some 3-inch pipe out the back of it. It's got a little bit of a rumble to it. Maybe I'll start it for you guys and rev it a little bit before we go, but it just comes out the back. So yeah, let's sit back in here so we don't get all the noise. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, there's really not a whole lot to look at here. But it is a real Dakota RT, and I treat it like a dirty old pickup truck, which is pretty much what it is. 5-speed swap makes this thing so much more fun though. I would love to get this thing to a drag strip and see what tired old 5.9 liter Dakota RT can do, especially with the manual transmission in it, but we'll have to see. I don't really want to beat on this thing too hard, because it is my daily driver. This is my primary vehicle. I drive it everywhere. I take it up, to my parents all the time. I take it on trips. It's going to go to Chrysler Nationals in Carlisle again this year, so it's going to be getting driven all over the place. I'll probably put close to another 20K on it in the next year as long as it doesn't explode. So yeah, that's the truck. That'll probably be it. So I might go out, start it, let you guys hear the exhaust, and then that will be the end of the video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.